Rob Reiner and Stephen King want to be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas and a safe and sane holiday season. But for novelist Paul Sheldon, it won't be very merry at all. He's spending Christmas in bed.
There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine. I'm your #1 fan.
I think one of my clients, Paul Sheldon, might be in some kind of trouble.
You mean Paul Sheldon, the writer?
This year,
My name is Annie Wilkes.
I'm a #1 fan.
he won't be going to any parties.
Oh, Paul, I've read everything of yours. The Misery novels. I love them so.
He won't be seeing any friends.
They said he checked out last Tuesday. Isn't that a little strange?
Paul, say hello to Misery.
Misery.
Yes, I told you I was your #1 fan.
He won't be spending time with his family.
Paul, forgive me for prattling away and making you feel all oogie.
He'll have only one person to help him through the holidays.
Catch this.
Mwah!
Annie Wilkes.
What a poet you are.
The presumption must now be that Paul Sheldon is dead.
She loves everything he ever wrote,
I'd love to stay here and chat, but I'm right at the end, and I gotta find out what happens.
except this.
You dirty bird. How could you? Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
You murdered us!
Whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't do it.
It's for the best.
Paul Sheldon is a famous romance novelist. Annie Wilkes is the author's #1 fan. When an automobile accident brings Paul and Annie together, misery changes both their lives. James Caan and Kathy Bates star in this suspenseful psychological thriller directed by Rob Reiner. Misery is a second teaming of Reiner with Academy Award-winning screenwriter William Goldman, who wrote The Princess Bride.
They open. The whole point is that they find the car with the door open, and their assumption is that he crawled out of the car.
It's also a second pairing with Stephen King, who wrote both the books for Reiner's sleeper hit Stand By Me and Misery.
The theme of the book is what really most drew me to it. It's about a writer who has become very successful writing a certain kind of book and desperately wants to break away from that mold.
Misery Chastain put braces on your daughter's teeth and is putting her through college. Bought you 2 houses and floor seats to the Knicks. And what thanks does she get? You go and kill her.
I never meant for it to become my life.
He has this need to deprostitute himself. He does so by killing off this heroine that he's had 9 bestsellers, you know, about. He kills her off so that he can't go back to it. And then he meets his #1 fan.
Will I be able to walk?
Of course you will. And your arm will be fine, too. Your shoulder was pretty badly dislocated. It was a little stubborn, but I finally popped it back in. What I'm most proud of is the work I did on those legs. You have a compound fracture of the tibia in both legs, and the fibula in the right leg is fractured, too. You've got a lot of recovering to do. And I consider it an honor that you'll do it in my home. I want to say all sorts of things like, oh, Annie's a psychopath and Annie's a... But it's hard being Annie to say those things because she's not aware of all that stuff about herself. Don't move now. Wouldn't want to hurt this neck. She's very sweet, and some of the research that I did about psychopaths, that was the thing that so intrigued me, that they're so normal.
Did I do good?
You did great. There is just one little thing. I can't work on this paper. See, it's carasable bond and it smudges. So I thought maybe if you went back into town, you could bring me some white long-grain Vimeo.
Any other crucial requirements that need satisfying?
Well, just the paper will be fine.
Are you sure? Because if you want, I'll bring back the whole store for you.
Annie, what's the matter?
What's the matter? I'll tell you what's the matter. I go out of my way for you. I do everything to try and make you happy. I feed you, I clean you, I dress you, and what thanks do I get? Oh, you bought the wrong paper, Annie. I can't write on this paper, Annie. Well, I'll get your stupid paper, but you just better start showing me a little more appreciation around here, Mr. Man. On the news, you'll hear a friend or a neighbor saying, well, they're just not like that at all. I was so surprised when they killed all those people. I just, you know, they're just not like that at all. Paul.
Hmm?
I know you've been out.
What?
You've been out of your room.
No, I haven't.
Paul, my little ceramic penguin in the study always faces due south.
I don't know what you're talking about. Ceramic penguin.
Is this what you're looking for? I know you've been out twice, Paul. First, I couldn't figure out how you did it. But last night, I found your key. I know I left my scrapbook out. I can imagine what you might be thinking of me. But you see, Paul, it's all okay. Last night, it came so clear. I realize you just need more time. Eventually, you'll come to accept the idea of being here. Paul, do you know about the early days at the Kimberley diamond mines? Do you know what they did to the native workers who stole diamonds? Don't worry, they didn't kill them. That would be like junking a Mercedes just because it had a broken spring. No, if they caught them, they had to make sure they could go on working, but they also had to make sure they could never run away. The operation was called hobbling.
Annie, whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't do it. Annie, for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Misery.
The main reason I've never been more popular is because of my temper.
She's crazy, and her craziness is slowly revealed. And it's like we said when we were writing the screenplay, you know, it's pot luck anytime Annie enters a room. You don't know what you're going to get.
You dirty bird. How could you? Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
Annie, in 1871, women often died in childbirth. But her spirit is the important thing, and Misery's spirit is still alive.
I don't want her spirit! I want her! And you murdered her!
I'm a total victim. It's really very, very tricky because I don't ever have the reins in my hand. The one thing that wasn't injured in the car accident that brought him to Annie Wilkes' house is his brain.
Come on, you've written about this, not do it.
This really is more of a suspense thriller than it is a horror movie. There are elements of horror in it, but very a limited amount. Basically, it boils down to a kind of a cat and mouse chess game between these two people who are thrown together in this odd situation.
Oh, it's so romantic!
We do take our time with the film, and that to me is what's good about it, because the tension just builds slowly, slowly. So it's like a noose tightening around your neck.
I thought it was time you two should meet.
Paul, say hello to my favorite beast in the whole world, my sow, Misery.
Misery.
Yes, I told you I was your #1 fan.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe you.
This farm was kind of dreary with just a few cows and chickens and me. But when I got Misery here, everything changed. She just makes me smile so.
She's a fine pig is what she is.
I'm on page 300 now, Paul. And it's better than perfect. It's divine. What's the ceiling that Dago painted?
The Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, that and Misery's Child. Those are the only two divine things ever in this world.